Be the first one I throw up onto the channel, but Bitcoin. Okay, so we're gonna do some crypto. We're gonna start tracking some things, throwing out some videos, and we'll go from there. So weekly on the BTC, what we can see is obviously we've come up, we've had this big rally, we had our head 68,000, and ever since then we've been in a large downward rally. Okay, and at the moment we're just looking for our low to form before then we can start buying and then looking for some lower high opportunities. Okay, so immediately my eyes are drawn to this region here, 30,000. So this is the 30,000 support floor that I do expect price to run down into, liquidate before then bringing price back above water and printing a lower high. Okay, so this is kind of like stage one, stage two. So stage two, what we're looking at, what I can see is this little left shoulder here. So we can go left shoulder, head, and then we've come down, broken the low down here, and then may get a retracement up into a right shoulder. Okay, now just coming back into stage one, if you will, what you can see is that once price broke and closed below this low last week, this is kind of giving us the signal out that we're going to continue this downside momentum. And if price is always searching for like the next available region for liquidity, then we can expect to see the market probe 30k to the downside. If we jump down to the daily, if I just clear this all up, we jump down to the daily, what we can see is price has more or less been making a series of higher highs and lower lows and lower highs, like so. So since 44,000, we've fallen down into daily support, which, as you can see, I've got marked on over here, which initially it was here, but then it was refined to these highs just here, little body highs. And we've had 1-2 spikes into the lows, and now had some choppy price action. So if we come down into here, we can see that on Monday, we came up, made a high after the momentum. Tuesday was an inside bar, and now Wednesday today, we've spiked up on the back end of news and been ripped straight back down. If we look at the fine details then of this, we've got 1 drive, 2 drive. I'm now anticipating price to come down and make a third liquidation before printing a new lower low around the 32,500 region before bringing price back up off the lows up into first target of 41,500. I don't think we'll liquidate 30k straight off the back of this. I do believe we're going to come back up, make a lower high, and then sink down into the 30k. So it'll be a nice little A to B, and then we can look for that A to B down. Jumping down to the 4-hour time frame, there was a fantastic short opportunity today from 38,500. We came up, tested this little small consolidation region, and then now we're just getting that followed momentum again off the back end of this new spike up, close below, shooting star entry here, stops above the highs, ride that all the way down into first target of 34,500. Okay, so if we then come back over to the daily, what we can, the 4 hours fine actually. If we come to here and we plot a fib from A to B, we've now got that C wave. We've come up, tested the 50% here. We can now expect to see price maybe come into that 30k region. Okay, so initially I thought maybe we'll just come down and test, maybe just liquidate these lows and then spike all the way back up into 41. But with this fib 1, 2, 3, we may get that extension all the way down into 30k from here. So there's kind of 2 possibilities, and we're just going to have to track it as it comes. But I do have my eyes on those regions. So what we can do is we can grab that, Control C, Control V. We've got that extension that lines up perfectly. So there is no reason why price can't sink straight down into 30k from now. But I still think that maybe we'll just get one more spike down, bring it back up into 40 and then into 30. But we'll just see what happens for now. I do like this daily level that's holding, and until the market says otherwise, I've got my eyes on that. On the 1 hourly now, what we can see is if we just clear all this off and we start fresh, grab this 4 hour level that price rejected, bang, we can see the price was squeezing for some time up in here, consolidation, squeeze, 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 spike up, back end of news, shooting star, straight back down, took out these highs, and our price is just following through. So currently we're just sat on this little low here, which we can say has actually broken now because we've got closures below this wick. So first target for me to the downside is the bottom of this consolidation where it started. And what I do expect to see is we got this little bush here, and then we can look up to form a lower high. I like this region here. I like that. We've got spike here, test here, broke above, tested as a support, pushed up, and now broken, yet to retest. So then we can probably sling a fib, and we might have 0.5 or 61.8 confluence, and then we can push this one down into the lows like this. So on the 4 hour, I've got my first target here, which is the left shoulder, head, potentially an inverse right shoulder, which is the reason why I don't know if 30K will come in on this first wave. We may get that right shoulder back up into 40K first, like so. But it still remains as target, nevertheless, 34,500. So Control C, Control V, we can see that if we factor in some wicks to the downside, we can get a extension lining up over here potentially, but then we can the retracement up here and the extension down there with some wick fishing below this region, pull up into the lower high and then down into the extension. So we're just going to monitor it and see what happens. But that is Bitcoin short and sweet. And I'll check in the coming days, and I look forward to tracking this and uploading videos more consistently. So I hope you enjoyed.